Welcome to the Know, I'm Ashley Jenkins. Keep an eye out for Resident Evil 7 spoilers, everybody. Ahead of the game's launch next week, we've now got spoilers for the ending leaking online thanks to a what else broken street date. The game is already on sale in the Middle East, and review copies have also seemed to make their way into the hands of other gamers around the web who are now putting out screenshots from the game's ending, as well as, well, some other details, but that's the big one. Obviously, we aren't going to talk about those spoilers here, but definitely keep your head down if you're wanting to keep the game a surprise. In other Resident Evil 7 news, Capcom has also announced that whether or not you have the season pass, you'll still be getting some free DLC for the game that extends the story just a little bit. Hopefully, that story won't be spoiled for you by the time the game comes out, which is next Tuesday, January 24th. Nintendo has so far only offered tantalizing hints about Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild's place in the overall clusterfuck known as the Zelda timeline, but some fans think they've figured out the new game's backstory. Nintendo of America President Reggie Fils-Aimé showed a brief flash of a special edition map of Breath of the Wild on the latest Nintendo Treehouse livestream, a map which contains a tapestry about the game's backstory in the Hylian Sheikah language. Thanks to an awful lot of detective work and transcription work, which involved first converting the Hylian to Japanese and then to English, the tapestry has now been translated. Spoiler alert, it has to do with Ganon being sealed up, and you sort of know the rest. Still, if you're interested in reading it, it does provide some pretty cool clues about what we might expect from the game. Gabe Newell is bracing himself to answer your most pressing questions. The president of Valve will be dishing out knowledge today on a Reddit AMA. Naturally, everyone expected this AMA to be filled with questions about none other than Half-Life 3, and the mods have responded, banning mention of the word altogether. So I guess it's asking me almost anything. Given the alleged leaks that hit last week claiming the game basically doesn't exist, it'll be pretty interesting to see if Lord Gaben is going to be able to ignore all the ways people will be trying to get around the banned phrases. But hey, if you don't want to ask him about Half-Life 3, you can always ask him about how gambling is going with Counter-Strike Global Offensive, or if you're looking for other controversial topics, all the microtransactions they're adding in TF2. The AMA happens at 5 p.m. Central, so fairly soon after this video goes live, but we'll be sure to update you on any interesting developments tomorrow. Now, whenever Pokemon show up anywhere they're not really supposed to be, like a non-Nintendo game for instance, you can bet that a DMCA is sure to follow, and that is exactly what happened when a new Pokemon mod, Pokemon Evolved, popped up for the popular dinosaur survival sim Ark Survival Evolved, allowing you to hunt and even ride Nintendo's Pocket Monsters. However, it wasn't actually Nintendo issuing the DMCA, it was, another modder. According to PC Gamer, the mod was DMCA slapped by the creator or someone in the community of another work in progress Pokemon mod called Arkmon. The DMCA takedown has since been lifted from Pokemon Evolved, this whole dramatic thing, but it's all back to normal now. But it's probably only a matter of time before Nintendo themselves step in to finish what the first DMCA started, and they'll probably take down Arkmon while they're at it because they'd be on a roll by that point. Although, there are still Pokemon mods in Minecraft, so maybe they'll get away with it? Who knows? It seems that Battleborn is destined to be the game that always gets beaten up by Overwatch, even when it comes to porn. Gearbox CEO Randy Pitchford discovered over the weekend that Battleborn porn not only exists, it's also got its own steamy subreddit. However, after tweeting about the existence of Battleborn Rule 34 subreddit, it seems that Overwatch fans decided to overrun the subreddit with porn dedicated to Overwatch characters rather than Battleborn characters. So it's a porn war. Even outside the game, Battleborn will always be playing second diddle to Blizzard's crazy popular shooter, which, judging by Overwatch's dominant position on the Pornhub search rankings, isn't really all that big of a surprise, let's be honest. 2016 was a big year for watching games on Twitch, but not so much new ones, actually. A list of the most watched games compiled by GitHype pretty much involves the usual suspects. Counter-Strike Global Offensive was number 1 with more than 985,000 peak viewers. Following Counter-Strike was League of Legends at number 2, Dota 2 at number 3, and then Battlefield 1 and Hearthstone rounded out the top 5. Overwatch, the only other new game released last year besides Battlefield 1, landed in the number 6 spot. So that could be a sign that Overwatch is gaining in popularity still, especially considering that Battlefield's peak viewership came during the initial reveal livestream. Is it possible that Atari is actually releasing some new hardware after all these years? An email from the company that was posted on NeoGAF seems to allude to some new type of watch or wrist gaming device. The email shows the logo of GameBand, a wearable device company that released a portable Minecraft product in 2015 that, let's be honest, no one cares about. Atari said the new device will let you play classic Atari titles in a whole new way, like even less conveniently, but didn't mention any more specifics. Gadgets 360 reported that the new device is launching February 1st, and I don't know. Honestly, I guess if it lets us play Pitfall on the go, that's a great thing. It's just gonna be kind of weird, unless it's just like a stick. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg is taking the stand today to testify in the long-running feud between Oculus Rift and game maker Zenimax. The trial, which is underway in Dallas, is the result of Zenimax suing Facebook for $2 billion in damages, claiming that the Oculus was based on stolen technology. We have a whole story about that, by the way. We'll leave a card for it. Facebook acquired Oculus VR startup in 2014 for, not coincidentally, $2 billion. Facebook's tried to argue that Zuckerberg shouldn't really have to answer questions in the case, but a judge went ahead and overruled that. In court today, Zuckerberg said that Facebook's attorneys had just one weekend to ensure the company wasn't stepping into a legal mess before buying Oculus. Your plan was to begin legal diligence on Friday and sign the deal on Monday, an attorney said while questioning Zuckerberg, as reported by the New York Times' Mike Isaac on Twitter. Zuckerberg replied, "Yep." He also outlined the total cost of Facebook buying Oculus, which was the initial $2 billion plus another $700 million to retain, quote, key people, and another $300 million for milestone payouts, according to Isaac. So basically $3 billion. The trial is expected to last another 2 weeks, and I'll be excited to see what happens there. Turns out, speedrunning is really good for charity and entertainment, so really we all win. The Awesome Games Done Quick Marathon recently wrapped up and it raised $2.2 million for cancer prevention causes. That's a big jump from last year's event, which raised $1.2 million. This year's show featured nearly 200 speedruns of everything from Legend of Zelda to Dark Souls 3, the latter of which causes a couple of headaches for streamer Bubbles Del Fuego. At one point during his run, the entire game crashed, but order was restored and he finished the game in, get this, under an hour. The whole thing was streamed on Twitch and more than 43,000 people donated at an average amount of $51.09 each. It's really pretty cool to see, even though we will never beat Dark Souls in less than a week. We are not Bubbles Del Fuego, and we never will be, despite our best efforts. That's all the news we have for you today. Welcome back from the long weekend. Let us know what you think of all these stories in the comments, and for more news from every corner of the internet, make sure you like this video and subscribe to The Know. Can't get an end card out of that one. I only messed up. Actually, you know what? I did mess up enough. I forgot a couple of sentence periods in there. Just like, let's just keep talking. Welcome to The Know. I'm Ashley Jenkins, and keep an eye out for Resident Evil 7. Yeah, that even.